Hello guys, in this video I will tell you about my brand new asset that I have created. Basically it's very handy, it helps you out to apply multiple functions amongst all of the assets that we have selected. So I don't know if you have heard about, but basically we have something like scripted actions, as you can see. And all the scripted actions can be applied to the specific type that we have specified in the libraries. In that plugin, I added C++ code, and as well I added visual aspects of that. So there are actors library and assets library. I have possibility to add multiple functions, remove multiple functions, maybe check number of nodes, or check if the functions have a return nodes descriptions. So for example, if I have a test function B and I go to scripted asset actions, I can check if the functions have descriptions. If I press it, as you can see, all functions have descriptions, but if I go again and I have a test function and I remove description, because for example we want to keep that all the developers and check, as we can see we receive an error. So this will help us actually with the name that this function doesn't have that. But nonetheless, there are so many functions. For example, we can check another one. So if I go to scripted actions and check if all functions have return nodes, as we can see this function doesn't have return node. So if I go here, as you can see, it doesn't contain any return node, and it's supposed to contain each function. So I press this one, and now if I go there, I will save the file, and I will go again, and we can check functions. Yeah, as you can see, it now contains. If I remove that return node, it will automatically detect that it doesn't have. So if I check it again with scripted actions, return nodes, I will see notification that actually it doesn't contain. So it helps us to manage our assets. Obviously I can mark all of this and apply these changes and checkers for each action asset, which is awesome. But I added multiple functions like set variable to interpolate my name, set property flags by variable name. So for example, if I have a variable that is called 1, so for example I have now possibility to apply a change. So if I want to set it to a save, I just press the name, I press the save. If I press now and I go here again, I check again, as you can see it's marked as a save. So if you have like the same naming convention amongst all of the assets, we can apply those changes without even going there, just extendedly. It same works for like widget blueprints, so it's very handy. And there are more functionalities. If you see, we can add multiple functions. So if I go to my test blueprint action, and now if I go here and add multiple functions, I can just specify test1, test2, test3. And if I go here now, as you can see, the functions have been added, so we can automate some of the processes, which is actually very awesome. And even for the optimization stuff, I added something like check number of trivial nodes. So it will help us to see, for example, if maybe a developer didn't go above some specific limit. So not only descriptions, return nodes, but as well, as you can see, if I spend, for example, 3, I can see if all the workflows actually have enough nodes in that limit, and in this trivial nodes you can see all of the functions that I have specified before. There is as well a library for asset actions, so we can apply some names. For example, I have a cube. If I go here, we have a scripted actions as well, and I can apply some naming conventions. For example, I want to add like a SM. If I apply it, as we can see, it has been added, and we have a notification, and we can even use other operations. For example, we can even revert that name. So there's like an option to names reverse, and now it's everything reverse. There are multiple naming actions for the actors that are placed on the level, so I highly encourage you to check that. And there is also transform, so I can even set some random rotations. I can random rotate in 3 ways. I can then go to scripted actions and use, for example, scale offsets. So this is the scale offsets, and we can use some scale offsets for any stuff and then kinda manage them, and we see it's 1.8, this one is 1.4, and this one is 1.63. And I can press Ctrl Z and everything it's going back. By default it doesn't work, but I added a functionality that basically it's create a transactions. So if there is a transactions, it will basically allow you to revert all of the changes. So it works flawlessly for each tab that we want to use. There are some other stuff. For example, we can check how far we are. So if I go to scripted actions and check, for example, get distance to camera or try, we see this is the distance, and we even see notification that is inbuilt in that plugin. I will add even more functionalities. I'm working on something very automatic. For example, changing like the stuff that is in the blueprint without even going inside of it. For now, it supports all the classes of the blueprint as well the widgets, because it is from the blueprint, it has the same graph, and as well the actors that are placed on the level with multiple operations that are available in that plugin.